Hey, we're back at ISS here. I'm here with Amir Child. He is about ready to do a breakout session called Navigating the Threat Landscape, which, man, how long is that session going to last? I mean, it sounds like you're going to have a lot to talk about.
Well, it can definitely last forever, right? But my main focus is going to be on our ransomware dashboard within our RBVM tool, just kind of highlighting how we're going to talk about our susceptibility to ransomware in somebody's environment, right? We get to take in those inputs from, the various desperate sources that they have in their environment, bring that all together, and then really give them ability to see what their susceptibility to the ransomware in their environment looks like.
So what kind of conversations are you hoping to get out of this, right? I mean, it's one thing to give the presentation, right? But I'm sure the real meat happens after, when you get to have one-on-ones and learn about a person's organization and how Ivanti can help them directly.
Most definitely, and the hope is, that it just highlights the ability for them to see how susceptible they are to ransomware, right? The things that we're bringing in, why it's so important to understand why ransomware, your susceptibility more than anything else to the ransomware needs to be highlighted and focused on.
I want to talk a little bit about Common Vulnerability Scoring System, CVSS. Do we tend to overlook this when it comes to real world risk? I mean, the threat landscape is changing all the time, right? Talk a little bit about how we prioritize that system and how companies are using it.
Well, see, the problem with CVSS is it becomes static, right? Because the NVD doesn't ever update those numbers. And with RBVM and the tools, with EASM as well, you're going to get that ability to get that additional threat context and bring in more information so you can get it better classified, right? Or scored better and more focused with our tools. In particular with RBVM, right, we bring in that CVSS score based, it's a 2 or a 3, it could be. And then we're going to better contextualize that information, give you better reason why. It could be a 10, but if there's no associated threat to it, right, so it could be an exploit, could be a malware, could be many different things. If there's none of that associated to it, right, you don't really need to focus on it. It's important, it's never not important, but getting the additional threat context to help you prioritize that better, in addition to the CVSS score that you get as a baseline.
Yeah, and you're going to be focusing a lot on RBVM, right? So yes. What kind of counsel advice are you going to give to organizations who are implementing that, and what is it going to do for them?
Well, I mean, the biggest benefit that we do with RBVM, in my opinion, of course, is that we're going to give them a better way to prioritize their data, right? Because, you got 250 plus thousand vulnerabilities out there, right? As we start looking at the data, we can start breaking that down. What has an exploit, what has an RCE and PE, what may be trending in the real world that you may have in your environment. So RBVM gives you that easy way to get there.
What tips would you give folks who are going to come and listen to you and want to incorporate this into their organization? What are next steps? What should they be doing right now?
Well, see, it's kind of an interesting way to think about it, right? So with RBVM, traditionally in most environments, you're dealing with a vulnerability scanner, right? So we take those inputs, bring those in, and most traditional organizations, the way it works is, you're going to take that output from a scanner and you're going to get it in a spreadsheet. So now you have to take this spreadsheet through thousands of lines of information and try to figure out what is important. When you bring it into RBVM, we take all that away for you, right? We're going to give you that quick way to bring that data in, understand within half an hour, let's say, right? Once the data is done processing, that it is now prioritized for you to give you the things you really should be focusing on and giving you a path, right? I'm going to start with things that are trending. I'm going to go to those things that have those RCEs and Ps. I'm going to go to those things that are weaponized. And then finally, I can focus on everything else. But most importantly, we want to give you the inputs to look at those things that are trending, right? What's trending in the real world? I have that in my environment. That's what I need to focus on. Once I mitigate all of those, then I can look at the RCEs and Ps in the environment, right? And kind of work your way up the funnel.
It gives organizations the visibility they need to prioritize. And because, when it comes to these threats, and better than anybody else, these threats are growing in sophistication and in number, in the rapid nature that they're coming down the pike. Time is of the essence. And the more you have at your fingertips and the visibility you have, then you can assess those threats and remediate those threats quickly.
Yes.
All right, well, good luck. You're going to have a lot of good conversations.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And I can't thank you guys enough. So
Well, we can't thank you enough for it. Thanks for taking the time, Amir. Really appreciate it, and have a great ISS, okay?
thank you.
Yeah.